Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Page of Swords podcast. This is episode 30 with Nikki Politi. I hope I got that right that time. I tried to practice. but thanks so much for coming on because we've got a lot going on this year, right?
Yes, we do. This is a big year.
Yes, but that's great. But first, I do want to go over some of your competition history.
Okay.
So let's start there. When did you start competing?
So my very first show was in June of 2016.
Excalibur Cup?
The Excalibur Cup, yep. As soon as I stepped on stage there, I was so hooked to the sport. I did a show 2 weeks later, and then another 2 weeks later did a show after that. It was just like, I just wanted to do it all. I had so much fun.
And like, that's like, cause you started in bikini. So yeah, I have the NPC website up. So that's why I'm kind of like looking over your history here. But yeah, the first year you kind of like hit the ground running there.
I did. I literally my first show, I did the open, true novice, and then 2 weeks later I did the a Maryland show, the East Coast Championships, and then I did the open, novice, and collegiate at the time. Mm-hmm. And then 2 weeks after that I did Ultimate Physique Championships and did open and novice there as well.
Yeah, and those are all really good shows. I've never been to the Maryland show, but I've done the Excalibur before, and then the Ultimate Championships in Pennsylvania one. Like that one is obviously in the same venue as the Lehigh, and those shows are really well run. So it seems like you picked really good shows to start out with.
Oh yeah, those the Allentown shows, the Pennsylvania district in general, and Maryland as well. Actually, Delaware, Virginia, Maryland, Pennsylvania, that whole area is just best shows I've seen. Like, not putting down other states, but those are just like, they're like my go-tos. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, I definitely agree. And I mean, to be honest, like I've done shows here in Pittsburgh and towards like Philly and everything. Obviously that's where like more Allentown side and everything. And I just like really like the venues out on that side of the state. Like it is just like the venues are just like really nice and old. Like the Excalibur is like Harry Potter's castle.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Where do you live right now?
Oh, I live in Jersey.
Jersey. Okay. I thought so.
Yeah. I mean, some people are like, oh yeah, I could tell from the accent, but I don't have an accent. But
I was like, see, I knew that you weren't in Pennsylvania. I feel like I would have somehow knew that, but that's why I was like, she must be in Jersey. I think it must be because, so one of you represent that like Ace Nutrition. Is that what it is? Aces?
Oh, Aries Nutrition.
Aries,
yeah.
That's right. Mm-hmm. And they're New Jersey.
They're New Jersey. Yep. Mm-hmm.
How did you get with them really quick while I'm on that? When did you start teaming up with them?
So I started shopping there about, I don't even know, like less than a year ago. I started shopping there and they're 40 minutes from my house.
Okay.
But I was like, I went there once and I was so drawn to the way they set everything up. And the owner, Patrick, he's just so knowledgeable about everything. Like when I told him what my goals were, and he competes also, so he knows like exactly what you need as a competitor. I started going there literally like once a month, making the drive there. And like, I think it was about a month or two ago, he's like, you need to be on our team. And I'm like, okay, let's do this. Because it was like, and they actually opened up a store closer to my house. So now they're only like 15 minutes away, which is perfect. And like, like there's certain things that aren't like around the corner, but you'll go out of your way to go get them. Like, especially like certain like fitness supplements and stuff, like certain aminos and protein blends, like you want that specific thing. So Aries is great. He knows so much, and it's just a really great place.
For sure. And I definitely agree. Like and it's nice to shop local. So
I'm all about that.
Definitely.
And you know about that with BB Customs too.
Yeah, I'm all about it. Yeah. And you're also sponsored by them and everything. So like, that's fantastic. I love Rebecca. She was on the show and she's just she's so
amazing. Yeah.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. we'll get into that with the suits too, because I did want to ask, so you started out with, is that a purple or a blue suit that you started with?
I started with the purple suit. Yep. Mhm.
Yeah, and that was pretty much what you wore that year. Let's see here. So then like you did the Lehigh in 2017
Mhm.
and you changed colors, right?
Yes, I jumped to red. Yeah, so at the time, I believe that was 2017,
Yep.
right? For Lehigh.
Uh-huh.
So 2017, that's the time, I don't know if you know who she is, but Michelle Sylvia was very, she's a bikini competitor.
Okay.
Um, she was very big at the time. Like she was winning shows like crazy. She was just like, she was killing it. And she wore, at one time a red suit. And she has jet black, big jet black curly hair like me. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give red a try.
Mhm.
And I did. I think I wore red for, oh God, for I think like 6 shows I wore red for.
Well, it looks like you were winning first place, so it must have been your color. At least 2017. How did it go?
2017 was my favorite year. 2017, I did the Lehigh. That was my first win. I
Mhm.
did 2 weeks after that I did Excalibur. I won that.
Mhm.
2 weeks after that I did Maryland, won that. And then 2 weeks after that I did Ultimate Physique and won that. And it was a great year. Like I just felt great. I think I knew red was my color.
Mhm.
Um it was that year was crazy. I felt really good that year. I'm not gonna lie. It was a good year. Yeah.
Were you working with someone?
I had a coach back, a different coach than today. I had a coach back then in 2017. Um, but yeah, they guided me from 20, actually the end of 2015 all the way into 2017.
Mhm. Okay. Awesome. So then after that, in 2018, we went on to, you did the Pittsburgh show, right?
Yeah, 2018 was a difficult year. So I went on this like winning streak in 2017.
Right.
And I think I think my body was just like telling me to give myself like a break and I wasn't. So I didn't listen to my body and I kept pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. And I went on to do Pittsburgh Championships, and that was the smallest I've ever stepped on stage. Like I was so little when I stepped on that stage. And I mean I did okay. I got third place at the
Mhm.
Pittsburgh, and then 2, 3 weeks later, I had already signed up for juniors in South Carolina.
Mhm.
And I knew I wasn't going to do well because I was just getting smaller by the day. Like, I don't know what was going on with my body. Like, at 5'7", 5'8", I should be a lot fuller. And
Mhm.
I was just getting smaller and smaller. And I mean, I placed for my first national show, so I was happy with that. But it was um, it was quite a year, 2018.
Yeah, those are two like pretty big shows in my opinion. At least from going like from the Lehigh,
Mm-hmm.
and then just going into the Pittsburgh Championship show because everyone knows like you get to share the show with the pros and like
Honestly,
companion show.
have you ever done the Pittsburgh show?
I go to watch as a spectator, but I've never actually competed on the stage.
If you the I love the Pittsburgh show. Love it. It is a great show because not only are you there with the pros,
Mhm.
you're judged by literally it's almost the same judges as the Olympia.
Mhm.
Literally almost. They're missing like 3 or 4, but that show is on such a high caliber. Like depending on how you do on that show, you have like a tone of where you stand in
Mhm.
your division. And literally it's like that's why like that pro show is on such a top tier. It's literally the best of the best.
Mhm.
And like that show is great. Like
Oh yeah.
I love that. It is such a good show. I wanted to do it this year, but I'm gonna spray tan it instead. But
Yeah. Oh yeah,
yeah,
you'll still be there. You just won't be on that stage.
yeah, that was like me. Not last year, obviously, but the year before, I was there spray tanning,
Mhm.
and I actually spray tanned almost all of the winners there, like Priscilla, who won bikini, top 5, almost sprayed everybody except for Jen Dory. And it's a great, like, it's a great show. The vibe, the energy, like, just very motivating, very positive. It's great. I love it. I love it.
Yeah. No. And you know what you just said, Priscilla or whatever. I'm pretty sure she wore a red suit since we were just talking
Yep.
about that when she won that show.
Yes, she
Red.
did. Yeah.
Yeah, and I do love that show. I've always wanted to compete in it, but I
Mhm.
just feel like I don't know what it is about like the timing of that show for me. It just never works out. But you're right. Like even seeing that you did third, like right away, I was just like, that's really good for the Pittsburgh
Thank
show.
you.
So like that's definitely huge. So how was like I know you just said that you kept getting smaller and smaller and
Mhm.
everything, but like how was your first national show experience?
My first national show experience wasn't what I wanted it to be. um, Sad. It wasn't even the placing that got to me. Just everything didn't add up that was going into it.
Mhm.
Um, it was a rough one. The I don't know what it was, just like a mixture of everything, and then the fact that like I think so I stepped on stage about 5 pounds less at nationals than I did at Pittsburgh, and it really got to me. I was eating pancakes, I was eating burgers, and I'm just like, it wasn't working. And I'm looking at the girls in the lineup, and I was the very last girl for nationals, and I'm looking at all the girls in front of me, and I'm like, I'm screwed. This is it. Like, it is what it is. But I went out there, I did my thing, and um going going into nationals it's a good experience, because now that like now you know what they want. You're
Mhm.
right there in person. You're next to who they chose. You're right there. You can compare. Um it's just a really good experience to see where you stand in the bikini or figure world, just to see like where you line up, like how far away is this goal really achievable, you know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
can I really do this?
Yeah, for sure. And, because everybody there, you are with the other first place, second place winners or what have you.
Yep.
And you just know that like everybody's there hoping for a win for the pro card, like everybody always wants to win.
Mhm.
But like, how was it when you traveled? Like, cause that was probably the furthest you've went for a show, right?
That was the furthest I went. It was interesting. So um before this year and last year, I was so afraid to fly, like super afraid to fly. So I begged my parents to drive with me to South Carolina. We'll rent like a big SUV, we'll take turns driving this 10-hour trip.
Mhm.
And it was the worst thing that I ever decided to do.
Oh,
My father ended up getting food poisoning. I
oh,
was too tired to drive. It was just a mess. But um, now that I've traveled, I can't tell you, like I've been to Pittsburgh probably I feel like 20 times in the past like 6 months.
mhm.
Um, and I fly every time I go now. And I've
Oh,
flown to Florida for the Olympia. Um, what was it? Nationals,
mhm,
Masters Nationals was down there this year. When you have to fly for a show, you can make it super simple. I think people overcomplicate things.
mhm,
Um, as long as food is pretty much frozen and you don't carry liquids with you on the plane,
mhm,
it's like, yeah, they'll pull you aside and be like, okay, what's this? And you straight up tell them like it's chicken and rice.
mhm.
You're good to go. Like everything else I put like, my sealed peanut butter in my suitcase. I did my seasonings in my suitcase all sealed up and everything. But like, it's really easy. Like people don't realize how easy it is to travel. It really is, I promise. Like I don't know what I was thinking before.
Yeah, it's just a giant lunch bag. You know what I mean? Like they just, like
It
you
is.
said with the liquids, and obviously, why would you want the risk of liquids getting all over your bag inside,
Oh
anyways?
yeah.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
and like meal prep companies now make it easy. You can like Google where to find food, and then like, so you were at the Olympia, right?
Mhm.
I heard there was like a grocery store like right by the hotel.
Oh, the Olympia was great. So they did the same thing for so where Olympia was is the same place for where they had Masters, Nationals, and Nationals. And it's actually going to be the same venue. So this year, as you know, Olympia is back at that same area.
Yep.
And that's where nationals is going to be also. So if you are doing nationals or Olympia, they have this place inside the hotel called the Marketplace. I don't know if you saw it when you were there, but they literally have like a whole buffet
Mhm.
or like pre-made area of like grilled chicken, fish, asparagus, with egg whites, oatmeal, whatever you need, they have for you. So
Okay.
like whatever you need, like if you can't bring that stuff with you on a plane, you're set there. Maybe a little bit pricier, but you don't have to worry about anything. And like literally you go from like your hotel, go down the elevator, walk past the lobby, you're there. Like
That's
it's
awesome.
so convenient.
Actually, my show's going to be there, so that's really good to know.
Are you doing nationals?
Yeah, no, I'm doing the Clash.
Oh, okay. I didn't know they were moving that to
Yeah.
the convention center. Okay.
Yeah, the Clash is going to be at that Hyatt Hotel or whatever. So,
Okay. You'll love, oh my God. It is, I love it. Love it.
yeah, I heard really good things about it. And because I think they like what happened was like when the Clash had to cancel last year, they like booked it already for this year. Like that's why I think they like had it set so early.
Oh,
And
okay.
I think, and I'm just like, okay, well, at least like when I say like it's where the Olympia was, people are like, oh, okay.
Because honestly, like, so I don't, did you go to Olympia when it was in Vegas?
No, I actually haven't been to the Olympia yet.
Oh my God. Well, well, I'm not going to spoil it for you. You'll see.
Well, what did you like better then? Since you've been to both?
I've been to both. Okay. So I loved Vegas.
Yeah.
Vegas literally is magical.
Because I've been to Vegas, just not for the Olympia, and I know that it is a lot of fun.
Okay, so it's hard to really compare because it's Vegas, first of all, like it literally like it's just always popping. And then this past year, like very grateful that Olympia was obviously even happening,
Mhm.
but the expo of where Olympia is, so in Vegas, you like that expo is so ginormous, it takes days to complete. Like it would literally take us 2 days to go to every vendor or whatever, and on top of like watching prejudging and finals, like there's just so much going on. And then when it was Olympia this year, we literally like we walked down and walked back up, and that was it.
Oh,
And
so
it was so sad because I was used to, like, it was like the Arnold Sports Festival is huge.
I love the Arnold. Yeah.
Yeah, and this year it was just like, what happened? But like obviously like COVID and everything, so we were just like, again, grateful for
Mhm.
Olympia happening, but it very different expo. Very.
I'm sure. I'm sure it was really good for at least the athletes because
Oh
it just
yeah.
seems like everything was there and it was very comfortable. But I'm
Yeah.
sure from a spectator point of view, it just like was not the same and just didn't have enough for spectators.
It didn't, which is sad, but everyone understood, like nobody was like mad about it or anything.
Mhm.
But even as like as a competitor, looking at the competitors, the stage that the Olympians were on, that was just another level. Like being there and like there was like 10 LED screens in front of you. Like no matter where you were, you saw everything perfectly. Like,
Yeah,
it was
even the live
beautiful.
stream was great. I loved it. I watched prejudging and finals and was just having a blast both all weekend. I'm just like, I can only imagine what it was for you. And I'm like sitting at home in my own living room.
It was nice. It was very nice. They did good. They
That's
did.
awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Now, did you go like just to go or were you like working or anything there?
So it's so funny when you say that because people be like, are you going to like actually go see a show or work a show? And I honestly just wanted to go to the show. I
Okay.
was just like, I just want to go and enjoy my time there. Like, I've worked so many shows throughout the year. I'm like, just want to relax. Like, I want to enjoy this one.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
So I,
that's a good one to pick. But that's why I was like wondering. I'm like, because then I would have been curious. I'm like, you must have been working a lot if you were working the Olympia. But that's good that that's the show you picked to like relax.
oh, yeah, always. Yeah.
um. So well, that's awesome. I'm assuming you're going to go this year too, right?
Yep. I'm going to go this year. Yeah. I haven't missed in like the past like 2 years I've went. So I want to go again this year.
Mhm.
And the fact that it's at the same hotel that it was last year, we love that. And then, yeah, the same hotel as Nationals. So, and I'll be working Nationals. So we're
Yeah.
going
Well,
to,
I mean, it, is it the same? No, it's not the same weekend, right? Or is it like 2 weeks behind or something?
what Nationals?
Yeah. When's that typically? Do they
So
have a date?
So yeah, they have a date. So this year Olympia is October 5th to the 7th, I believe. And then Nationals is actually the week before Christmas this year.
Okay. Okay. So
Yeah,
there's
so
a
they kind of like
period.
flipped. Yeah. Hmm.
I think that that was nice last year to have it like later, that show. I don't know, like, I don't know. I just think last year that the NPC was able to realize like it doesn't matter what time of the year, like people want to do shows all year round.
Oh yeah.
People will go.
Like, yeah, that was like, honestly though, that was a big concern of theirs because the shows were so much later than they had hoped for. It was a concern, especially being around the holidays. People, they were worried about that, but like you said, people are going to compete. Like they'll compete either way. They'll find a way.
Definitely. I was gonna
Yeah.
say I knew a handful of people doing all kinds of shows last year. So I was like, they did not have a problem. Their people want to compete. So, and now
Oh
that
yeah.
this year they have those new rules about
Mhm.
qualifying, they what top five gets in, like that's just more chances for people to get in. I know a lot of people are gonna jump on that.
Oh yeah, which was so great about also having my show put on because
Mhm.
so many people now need to qualify for a show. And like there's not I don't in New Jersey, I think total they maybe are putting on 5 shows, and 2 of them aren't even in New Jersey technically. Like you know how the Tampa Pro is put in Florida. I
Yeah.
mean, not the Tampa Pro, the New York Pro. Sorry, New York Pro is put in Florida. Same thing that's happening with the Universe. It's getting moved again. Like no shows are happening around here, so people need to do a warm up show, and thankfully PA is not that far away.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're totally right. I actually like forgot about Team U if they were going to move it or not, but yeah, I guess they're just being safe than sorry, and they're just like, no, we just want to make sure that it's guaranteed, and we're going to move it again.
Yeah, because in New Jersey, there's really nothing going on. Like there's Universe. They are doing there's a big show over here called the Steve Stone Metropolitan Show. Um, but that's in Teaneck of New Jersey, the same venue that usually Universe is at, but they must be expecting a um smaller amount of competitors this year because of the restrictions in New Jersey are crazy. Like you can't do anything. So I can't even imagine what the schedule is going to be like or what they're going to do for that show because it has to be a lot smaller than what Universe is.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I don't know.
Well, then we can talk about your show then. So
Oh,
this is something that this has been something that I'm assuming you've been working on for a while,
oh
and
yeah.
you're working with Gary to make this happen. So I don't know, start where this happened. Like, how were you just like, hey, Gary, I want a show? Like,
I wish I could do that. I'd be like, Gary, let's go.
yeah.
No, so I was working with Olympiads. I've been working with Olympia Tan obviously for so long now. Um, there was a show last year, I'm sorry, 2 years ago, the Excalibur that you did.
Mhm.
I was helping out at that show, but I was doing more than just spray tanning. Like I was helping out with the trophies, I was helping out with the media content, social media content. I was doing just a little bit of everything, helping out with registrations, a little bit of everywhere. And Mike Camdar, who's the owner of Olympia Tan,
Mhm.
picked up on it and spoke to Gary about like, listen, like this girl can do her own show. I think we should do it. So last year, right before COVID happened, me and Gary had this meeting saying, okay, we'll do this, we'll do that. COVID hit, so nothing ever happened. So I literally was like, okay, well, there goes my ideas like down the drain, whatever. Um, but no, like literally as soon as everything started picking back up again, so did we. So we were like, you know what, let's start from scratch. And we decided to do a whole brand new show, um, brand new name, brand new beautiful location, stunning. It's not a Harry Potter castle, but it's
I've been
I don't
hearing
know.
good things.
I don't know if you saw it, but it's beautiful. It's very big and just it's nice. So yeah, we're doing that May 8th, and we're doing different things. Like we don't want the competitors to literally just step on a stage and just like have the typical like backdrop that you step onto. Like things are going to be different at this show. And like after the show they'll be different. Backstage will be completely different. Like I as a competitor, you know what you want out of a show. And it's like, I want to go above and beyond for everybody. And plus it's brand new. Like I really want to show them like this is going to be like amazing. So
Right. I know as a competitor, if I was able to do it, I'd be like, I want to be like the first like champion to be on next year's poster. Like that was like my thinking too. I was just like, man, I would love to do like a new show like that and just be the first like figure winner and like have that.
yeah.
Right.
It's funny because a lot of people say that, like,
Mhm.
there's a bodybuilder who's on the poster now, and he's like, I really want to do this show. I really want to be the reigning champ. Like, let's do this. And I'm like, go for it. Like, let's have you on the newest poster. Like, come on.
Mhm.
So he may do this show again. I hope he does this show. It's a brand new show. We took the winners of one show and put them onto this one.
Mhm.
So we'll see if he does it. But the other cool thing that I'm doing about this, and there's going to be announcements leading up to this,
Mhm.
the open overall winners for this show will be receiving personalized weightlifting belts.
Ooh, that's so cool. With
So
assuming like the show title on the belt and stuff.
yeah, so it's going to be I haven't decided exactly what I want, but something NPC PA Muscle, like it'll be like figure champ, bikini champ, whatever it is. Yeah.
That
So
would be fun.
yeah.
Definitely. And I love that you picked Lancaster because there's, I always think that when you're doing something like this, location is everything. So, I mean, I don't think there's any other show in Lancaster. So it's kind of cool to even have a new show, new area to have it.
You know, it's so funny that you say that because, so being from Jersey, obviously I don't know much about Pennsylvania at all. All I really knew was like Pittsburgh because of Pittsburgh Pro, and then Allentown because of the Allentown shows. So I really didn't know much about it. And I'm literally for months Googling venues. Like me and Gary would go to these places in Philly, just all over Pennsylvania. When I found the one in Lancaster, I was blown away by just like the venue itself. And I was talking to one of our sponsors. You'll see his name up and about. It's JL Nutrition and Supplements, and he's from Lancaster, and he said this is the first bodybuilding show that has ever been put on in Lancaster. So I'm excited to be the first one to do that brand new event. So this is a big deal for me right now.
I'm so
Yeah.
excited for you. Like, I think this is super cool because, like you said, like I actually met you at the Excalibur Cup when you were helping. So in the back of my head right now, I'm just like, man, that's where I met you. And this is where things are picking up for you. How cool is that?
It's crazy, right?
Yeah. And I think that's great because I know we didn't really get to talk about it that much yet, but you starting working with Olympia Tans and like that gets your foot in the door. Like to me, like starting a podcast and I'm trying to do posing, like this is like my way of getting in. But like, I think that's like, I look at you and I'm like, I want to do that because I would love to, maybe do tanning or judging. So to see you and you're getting your foot in the door and it's leading to all these really awesome opportunities for you. So
But
this is
that's the way to do it. You just grow with the sport, like putting your name out there, podcast, whatever it is. I mean, you want to get into tanning? I could hook you up with tanning. Like,
Yeah,
you can do
I'm
it.
trying to get with Sarah. I was like, I'm actually I'm going to Mike's this weekend.
On
Um,
Friday.
yeah, for the tanning thing. Are
So
you
I
going?
will see you there.
Look at that. Yeah, Sarah invited me and she was like, let's go after we lift. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, that's exciting. I didn't know that.
Well, look at that. We're just gonna have a spray tan party.
Literally.
But yeah, that's why I was like, because I was like telling her, because she was saying about how like at North Americans, I heard like it was so busy that like some of the, Sarah and I can't remember the blonde girl's name. She's like a physique pro now.
Oh, Serena.
Serena. I knew it was an S though.
Yes.
But she was just like they were so busy and they were trying to compete and they had to like help tan while they were competing.
Oh
I'm
my
just like, oh,
God.
I want to help so bad. I wish I would have known. I would have like
I
loved
felt
to.
so bad for those two in that show because literally, like, it takes a lot to spray tan a big show like that. And
Mhm.
we're working literally, no joke, like 12, 14-hour days at that point. And they're competing. I think at that point it had to be, I don't know, they were competing like Thursday or Friday or something. Thursday, I think it was. And they were just so tired. I felt so bad for them. Like, you girls need to take a break. Like, you can't spray tan. And like, it takes a lot out of you, yeah, but like when you're in peak week and getting off and on stage, like, you can't spray tan. Like, you got to enjoy that moment, enjoy that stage time. I'll never forget
You're
that.
so dehydrated. That's like in my head, like that's why I was like, maybe I should wait until after my show and be like, hey, I want to help because I'm just like, I can't even imagine being thirsty and you're sticky and you just got
Yeah,
the face of
they,
makeup.
they took on a lot at that show. Normally when you do compete,
Mhm.
um, like I've competed at the Pittsburgh at however many shows, I'll never spray tan when I do a show. Like, it's, and they understand that. You tell them, like, listen, this is my show day. We're all competitors. We all understand it, but they wanted to help out. They're crazy, but they wanted to help out. But when it's your time to shine, no, you're not gonna. No need to spray tan. No need
Yeah,
to.
for
Yeah,
sure. They're troopers. But yeah,
they are.
I couldn't
Yeah.
even imagine.
No. No.
But that's awesome. It just it leads you to all these like opportunities, and plus, like you said about the Pittsburgh, you got to like meet the pros and pretty much like tan them, and like that is
Yeah.
really cool. Just to
It,
kind of be back there, and they
it's
appreciate
awesome.
you because they need the tan, you know.
Oh, they really do. And it's so funny, even the ones that, like, the pros that aren't very good with English, like, no joke, they will literally be on their phone on Google Translate and be like, okay, how do you say this and do this and go back and forth. And just like, they want to communicate with you and just like be like, okay, this tan looks good. You may have missed this spot. You do this. You like, there's very, very grateful. Very.
Yeah, and even like backstage and the pump up and little touch ups and everything. Like I know like tanning to me is like the most stressful thing, and just like when you're
Well,
backstage, you know what I mean. I guess it's because like I remember like my first like show, and then you got like the spot on your leg, and like I was like, oh my god, do I have to go on stage with this? Like, can someone help me? You know, like as a first time competitor, you like aren't even sure like about the whole touch up process. Like at first I thought it was you get a tan and then
and
you
that's
mess
it.
it up and that's it. Like
Yeah.
so backstage, like I'm always like, oh man, I'm so glad these people can touch up these spots. I'm so
Oh,
appreciative. You know?
I gotta be honest with you. Tanning should be, especially when Olympia tan is there, should be the least of your worries.
Mhm.
The least. Like, we literally have fixed the worst of the worst. Like, I promise you, like, do not stress when we are there. We will fix you. I promise you. Like, it will be okay.
Same with the bikini bite. I remember my last show, Rebecca's husband's like was like legit like super gluing my figure top to come up real high because that's so important for a figure. You
Yes.
got to really make sure those come up high so that your like shape and waistline is very small looking. And
Mhm.
he's just up. He's like, you're not going out there until this is higher.
That's Andy. Yeah. Andy will. And like, Andy wants to see people succeed. So, like, and literally, he sits at the judges' table. So, like, he knows what they're looking for. He sees it all the time. So he's like, bring them like constantly with the figure suits. Even bikini should be literally it should be straight those hip connectors with your
Mhm,
belly button. That's where it needs to be.
mhm.
Hmm.
Definitely. And just before we forget, we have to end at least with like your last show. So 2019, you did the Capitol Grand. So that was your last one, correct?
Yeah, that was my last one. So 2019, I wasn't even sure if I was going to compete in 2019 because 2018 was so rough for me. I was like, you know what? I need a break. I need to
Yeah.
grow. I'm not going to do anything. And then I wanted to cut a little bit, nothing crazy, but just cut.
Mhm.
And then like that little cut, my body was being so stubborn, it wouldn't cut. Like, it was just like not budging no matter what I did. And I was like, oh my God, what if I was going to do a show? Like, I wouldn't be able to do one this year. So I'm like, you know what? Let me do the things that I would do for contest prep and see if this would work. And I remember like a month in, I'm like, my weight is still not budging. I don't know what to do. So Mike Camdar, the owner of Olympia Tan, he was helping me out, coaching me and being like, let me help you. Let's see if we can get you to the stage this year. Let's see what we can do. Get your metabolism back up and running and going.
Mhm.
And we did it. It took a long time. I think I was technically in prep for like a solid 8 months.
Okay.
Like it was a long time, but I did it, and I was just honestly at that point, I didn't care about the placing, I didn't care about anything. I just wanted to step on stage and be like, okay, I need a break.
Yeah. And honestly, looking back, are you glad you did? Because 2020 happened and
Yeah,
it kind of forced you to stop for a bit.
yeah, I honestly, I was really glad that that had happened, that I was able to step on stage in 2019. Um, very, very grateful. I did a new suit with Becca, new color and everything. Just if I was gonna do it, I just wanted to go all out on it. And yeah, I was very grateful. I learned a lot about my body and myself doing that show. And then of course 2020 happened, so use that to take some time off, and I'll be returning very soon.
That will be exciting.
Yes, I am so excited. Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I bet after your show and everything that you're having, and just because you went to the Olympia last year, I'm sure like you're gonna have that itch for sure.
Oh, yeah, it was so crazy. On the plane ride to Olympia, I was like, you know what, maybe I should retire. Like maybe this is it. Like, I was like going crazy. And then watching the Olympians, I'm like, yeah, screw that. I'm not giving up. Like I was just like
Up there.
I want to go. Like I gotta do it. And honestly, it did light a fire in me. And I'm like, this is what I want to do. I love this sport. Like clearly doing everything from tanning to promoting to just a little bit of everything. And I've done the social media for the NPC, just a crazy amounts of involvement, and I don't want to stop. Like I truly do love it. So yeah.
No, I could tell you're very involved, and I think that that's great, and that it definitely shows that you just want more for yourself and for the competitors, you know?
I really do. Like that's why one of the things I love about putting on a show is because as a competitor, you see what you want and don't want. It's like, okay, this was cool to have at a show, but this wasn't, or we could have focused on this, but not this. And that's why I'm like, okay, I have a couple ideas. Like I think we're gonna be okay. So
We want a fun backstage. We want like really good pictures, and
yeah.
you just want all the, good prizes are always a plus, like you said, you're getting the belts and stuff, and like who doesn't want to walk away with some goodies? Like,
Oh yeah, everyone's gonna have a goodie bag to walk away with. Everyone's gonna have a contest T-shirt. Everybody, the overall winners are gonna have the belts, and like just backstage will be great. Just like the whole vibe of it, I'm just so excited for it. Like I just can't wait for everyone to see it all come together. I'm so excited. Mainly, I think I don't know what I'm more excited about, like the stage, like outside of the stage. Like I'm ready. Like I'm like let's do this.
and we're 10 weeks out from your show right now, from the recording. So obviously people can still sign up, so they definitely should.
Yes.
And you're going to have every category, right?
Everything: wellness, fitness, figure, bikini, bodybuilding, everything.
Oh, I'm so excited, especially with the whole like wellness coming out. I mean, even like, the Olympia, you have to go this year because you got to see the first time wellness girls on the Olympia stage.
Oh yeah, I want to. It was so funny. I met a couple of the pro wellness girls that came to visit at a couple shows that I was spray tanning at. And I was just like blown away. Like they're just proportions are just like they're on another level.
Oh, yeah.
And you can really appreciate what they do. I'm just like, whether you agree or disagree with the division, the way it looks, I give them so much credit, because having those lower body proportions is just out of this world. It really is.
Sure. Like when you see a wellness pro, it's a wellness pro, because it's
Easily.
like, those are solid legs. Like I don't know how those girls wear jeans. Like
I don't know either. I really don't.
And those suckers, they're like,
I know. They are. Like I said, a lot of credit.
And I've heard JM loves it. I love that he's like so invested. He loves the bikini girls, and now there's wellness, and he's just like, whoa.
Yeah, it's so funny. So JM at North Americans introduced me to Yarishna, and I had like a hard time even looking at her, because it was just like, whoa, like beautiful, beautiful girl. And he was telling me all about her and all this stuff. And literally like a couple weeks later, she went on to go win the overall at Universe.
Mhm.
And JM shortly after did the photo shoot with her, and just he is all about the wellness category. He loves those Brazilian bodies, let me tell you.
Yeah, I just got to meet him face to face at that posing
Yeah.
seminar this past weekend, and he is just such a nice guy.
He's a character. He
Yeah,
is. He's a cool
character.
guy.
Hey, those comic book guys, I tell you what, they're all characters.
You gotta oh, JM, me and him go back a little bit. We like to make fun of each other, I'll put it that way. He's
Yeah.
good. He's a good guy.
Now, I hear he likes to take pictures of girls when they're like eating and
Oh God.
uses them as blackmail.
So yeah, so if you're at a show and JM is photographing, if he does the backstage photographing, he will get you eating, he will get you bent over looking for something in your bag. He has gotten my hand up people's private parts so many times from like bikini bite or doing touch-ups, and it looks so inappropriate, and I'm like, damn, really? And he's like, but you're just doing your job. And I'm like, I know, but it looks awful. But it's all in fun. Like he just laughs at it. He just laughs at everything. He's good.
Yeah, I love that too, because obviously he's the kind of guy, he's the guy, you know. You got JM, and you know, Tyler's still a little bit young yet, but he's busy judging, and then JM's the one that gets to run around and kind of like take the pictures. And
Yeah,
I don't know, I think his job sounds fun, but I'm sure he's got a lot on his plate sort of thing. So it's just
he
nice
does.
that he's got the
Yeah,
high spirits.
he does. Whenever you're near him, meeting him, whatever, he always has a smile on his face. He does. He's very happy to be at the contest. He has a good time wherever he's at. He does.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Yeah, I hope to meet him again in a couple weeks. I might be going to the photo gym, so we'll see.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, I shouldn't say we'll see. It's already set, but I
Oh,
haven't
when are
really
you
been
going there?
so when I met him, me and my friend, where she wants to do the big cat, and since I'm doing the Clash in 6 weeks, he was like, he's like, I'm always looking for like, you know, amateurs or anyone to come in and with the pits, because to me, like I knew that he did. It's just I thought he would only do it for like the Arnold or like the Pittsburgh and want those amateurs, because I was like, well, I'm doing the Clash, and he was just like, no, any NPC show. So I was like, okay, you know me, I want to be like you, Nikki. I'm like, I'm gonna get my foot in the door. I'm like, let me come over.
Good. Yeah, you'll have that's funny because I'm gonna be with JM at the photo gym in 2 weeks. So I will
What
be
day? Now I need to know.
I think it's what is it, March? I want to say March 5th. I think it is.
March 5th. Okay, that's a Friday.
Or is it the 4th? I think it may be the 4th.
Okay. Now I'm going the 9th.
Okay, so you're right after me. Okay.
Just give him some good words about me.
I'll put in a good word.
Do you have to go there for like show business?
So me and Skylar Lanier.
Yeah, you guys were just down there. I saw
Yep,
that.
we were just down there.
Mhm.
We actually did a video interview, whatever you want to call it, with JM, and it was how to basically juggle life with competing.
Okay.
And we did this whole thing about scheduling everything because she's also a promoter also.
Mhm.
So she's a promoter. She's an IFBB Bikini Pro. Her and her husband Jason, they own the shop gym.
Mhm.
I actually believe they have two shows. They have the DC Pro Am show and they have the Warrior Classic, I believe.
Oh, that's another new show this year, right?
Yeah, I think last year was called something else. Last year, I think it was called the Hercules, I think. So she has all that going on. And then I'm a promoter. I work part-time, I spray tan, and I go to school. So the two of our lives are very crazy. So we decided to talk to true novice competitors about how to juggle it all, how to do everything. So we're going back there March 4th or 5th, whatever day it is, to answer questions from true novice competitors to see what do they want to know. Like as your first time competitor, bikini figure, even men, like what do you want to know going into a competition? So that's what we're going. So we have questions that got to be answered for this video.
That's awesome though, because
Yeah.
that's what we need. I like those kind of videos. I mean, the ones that they put out there. Like I love that JM does that, the videos with the competitors, like what do I wish I would have known? Like
Yep.
I love those videos. I'm always interested to see what like the pros are saying, especially since like after all the shows, like most of them come in and now that we're doing the Pittsburgh, you know, it's like he brings in all the pros and gets like these nice personal interviews. It's just different and I like it.
It is. I remember I did an interview with him for the road to the Pittsburgh, and he did that question with me. He's like, what is one thing that you wish you knew before competing? And I think I told him, I'm like, I don't even know if this is a real answer, but it's the truth. I was over prepared for my show. Like literally over prepared to the point where it was like, okay, now what? Like I was like all
That's
my
pretty
ducks in
true
a row
though.
ready to go. Yeah, it was good. It was just I learned along the way, I will say that. Like you learn along the way, like um suit companies, jewelry, suit colors, shows, what works for you.
Hmm.
So it's a lot of learning.
It really is. You're right. And you can be over prepared, like you said. I feel like you can plan to the T and just end up stressing yourself out sometimes. Like I think a lot of us girls do that because we've got to get the hair appointments and the nails done and like
Mhm.
waxing or whatever else you got to do. And I know like, oh, you just get
It's a
so
lot.
overwhelmed. You're supposed to
It's a
just,
lot.
yeah, just chill out and everything too. So
It is. I remember like, oh my God, I'm like, when do I get my nails done? Do I get a pedicure? Do they look at my toes? Do I do that? Do I shave the night before? Do I shave the night? Oh, it's just like, it's a lot. It is.
it is. And it's just, you know, it's like for that one day, I always say that like sometimes our shows can end up being like people's weddings where people get married and they put all this time and stress and decisions into this one day. And then they're like the spotlight, but then they're just so exhausted that they're like, just trying to hold on.
It's true. It literally, that is a great comparison. It literally is like a wedding day. And like
Yeah.
at the same time too, it's done like that, like so fast.
Then you're like, thank goodness JM is taking these pictures backstage so I can look at myself bending over because I don't remember that happening.
Literally. Literally, you'll go back to NPC News Online, you'll be like, oh, why'd he take that picture? You will. It'll happen. Everyone's been there. It'll happen.
Oh, yeah. I was gonna say, even from the posing seminar, I was like, well, now I'm reminded why like we get tan because
Yeah.
I'm like in line with these other girls and like I'm the one that's 6 weeks out and I'm just so like white or whatever and I'm just like, where's my tan?
I feel you. We've all been there. We have. I remember I got pulled up on stage one time at a posing thing, and I was not in shape at all. Like I was like, I mean, I wasn't fat, but like I wasn't in like normal prep shape, and I was just like, I don't want to be up here. Like I don't look like I belong up here. Like I need to come down. So like I know what you mean. You're just like, okay, enough is enough. Like this is why we do this now.
For sure. I'm like, yeah. If anybody wants to see like what us girls look like up on stage and we're white and we're kind of conditioned and how like the tan makes the biggest difference in the world, it's like, there you go. I look like I'm like flat and like nothing with the stage lights. And then you look at them and you're just like,
I'm sorry.
no, it's okay. I should have got my spray tan that I was getting this weekend for the post.
Shut up.
That's so much fun.
Aw.
So yeah, so how long have you been working with Olympia Tan?
Oof. I started with them at the end of 2016.
Okay. Yeah. So you got addicted to the competing and then you're like, I'm ready to help. And any like funny backstage stories?
So the whole team will tell you this. I am notorious for sleeping anywhere.
Oh,
Like I don't know why, but like they have pictures of me literally like sleeping under tables, sleeping in like audience chairs, like anywhere. Like when you're tired, like from spray tanning, you pass out, and there's literally collages of me sleeping anywhere. Like, literally. There was one time I'll never forget. I think it was North Americans or Masters. I had this guy request me to get spray. I had to spray tan him, and Mike, the owner, was like, let me go check on her. I think she's sleeping right now. I'll be right back. So apparently he came back to look for me and I was knocked out. So he told the guy, listen, why don't you come back in like a half hour? She'll be up and we'll spray tan you. The guy comes back. I was still knocked out. Like, I was not waking up. The guy comes back like another half hour after that. So we're talking like a good hour. This has happened. The guy's like, no, I'll still wait for her. And Mike, the tanning guy, was like, dude, she's out. Like, she's done. Like, you got to pick somebody else. Like, you can't wait anymore. And he finally got sprayed. I think he got sprayed by Serena. But I, like, when I'm out, I'm out. Like, I'm tired.
So funny. But that's so interesting, though, because I'm not like that. So I'm like, wow, how do you sleep anywhere? I mean, and then you said about how you don't really fly that much and now you are. I'm like, you'd probably be the one that would love to just get on a plane and just pass out.
Oh, I do. That's when I get my sleeping done. I'm just like literally tomorrow I'm flying out to Pittsburgh for the whole spray tanning thing. So I'm like, okay, well, if I fall asleep at this time, I could sleep on the plane for an hour at this time. That's how like I am. Like, okay, I'll get an hour on the plane. It'll be good.
That would be you with the video. You'll be like, okay, I don't know how I get like school and stuff done, but I just sleep anywhere. Like, that's how I get it done.
Literally, because I'll be like, okay, if I get to the airport this time, I can do homework for like maybe like an hour waiting for the plane, sleep on the plane, get to Mike's house, do some homework there, like all over the place.
Yeah, what are you going to school for?
Biochemistry.
Oh boy. So
Yeah.
that's awesome though.
Thank you. Yeah, it's different. Yeah.
How much more time do you have with that?
If I go at the rate that I'm going right now, I plan. Sorry, my dog is crying.
I'm sure she's like ready for you to be done with this right now.
She's just, I don't know what she's doing, but if I go at the rate that I'm going right now, I should be graduating this time next year.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm praying because I'm like so done with school. I'm just like, I want to be done.
Well, that's why I was like kind of curious. I was like, are you finishing this year? Because then I was like, well, maybe she'll compete after. But you're like, no, I'm going to compete this year and I will figure school out.
Well, that's literally what I do. I've done that with everything. I bring my laptop everywhere I go. I remember on my first trip to Pittsburgh, I was having such a hard time bringing my textbooks. I'm like, do I make that a carry-on or do I make it 20 pounds in my luggage and then I can't bring certain clothes? I'm like, I don't know what to do. Literally. It's
a learning experience, but
it is. I figure it out and I'm just like, okay, I got to go with it. That's it.
And then probably prepared you for the Olympia, like you said, with the food and stuff. You're like, no.
It did.
I got
really
this.
did.
If I could bring a like super heavy books, I can bring like bags of frozen chicken.
Literally, I was like, and I remember I was asking security too at one point. I was like, what can and can't I bring? And they'll tell you, like, if you bring protein powder with you, for some reason it scans as something else. So now that I've learned that, it goes to my luggage. Don't worry about it with security. Like, you just live and you learn.
Yep, that's for sure. I agree. Just bring maybe something in a clear baggie that's like chicken just for on the plane, but throw the rest of it in the luggage. Just get it when you get there.
Yep. And literally, like, depending where you're going. So from here to Florida was only 2 hours. The food will be fine. From here to Pittsburgh, it's 45 minutes by plane. It'll be fine. Like, yeah, it's really very simple.
Alrighty, girl. Well, I definitely have had you on for almost an hour now, and
oh my God,
I was like, I could. Well, and that's why, like, the poor dog's probably like wanting mama to hurry up.
She's looking like, what is she doing? She doesn't talk to the computer.
I'm sure. She's like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Well, I am so excited for your show. Everyone can go to the Instagram account, which is NPC_PA_muscle.
Yes.
And then they can also follow you. What's your username? Let's see here. So I was like trying to find Nikki.Politi.
Yes, you got it. Yeah.
And then you have a fan page too, right? For your Is that
You
yours?
know what? That's not me.
Okay.
Somebody made that for me, and I'm
I
just
wasn't sure it was you or not. Someone, because
yeah.
like after I posted the podcast, they were like, please follow this one too. And I thought maybe it was you just like asking for me to follow it, which is no big deal. But I wasn't sure if that was you or not. But you've got a whole modeling fan page.
Apparently, I do. I mean,
Girl.
no, this I had no idea. My sister told me about it, and I'm like, I do, and I'm just like, okay, I had no idea.
I'd be so flattered because you got all kinds of modeling pictures and everything.
Thank
So
you.
it's
Thank
awesome.
you. Thank you.
All righty, girl. Well, anything else that you want to share? I mean, you've got a discount code for your nutrition place.
Yeah, I got a discount code for Aries Nutrition, discount code for BB Customs. Both are just my last name with the number 10.
Okay.
You can use both those at checkout for BB Customs and Aries. And again, just keep a lookout for the show. Yeah.
Definitely 10 weeks, guys. If not, make sure it'll be on the map for next year too, because as soon as the show's over, it'll probably be ready for next May.
There we go. And also the cool thing about the show is 2 or 3 weeks after my show is nationals. So it's a great warm-up.
Definitely get yourself qualified because it's going to be a good year. Everybody got tired of waiting around for 2020, so 2021 is where it's at.
There it is. Yeah.
All right, girl. Have a good night, and thank you so much.
Thank you. I'll talk to you. I'll see you Friday.
Yes, I'll see you then, and we'll get all tanned up. Safe travels.
Thank you. You too.